I just wanted to make sure, you know, I know you were saying that other guests were afraid of them, but they didn't do anything to question their ability as service animals, right?
As in, so more what the issue was. So a nice lady came in. She wasn't trying to make it like a huge issue or anything. She just said there was 2 large dogs. Came up, she walked in, and they just kind of jumped on her a little bit, not in any aggressive way, or she wasn't like fearing for her life or anything like that. I am not extremely educated on service dogs. As far as I know,
like I said, I'll be honest, sir. You know, the little one, she's only 10 months, and she's just going through her first heat. You know, they're both trained. Now, for saying when I'm not paying attention, they both just really want to play with each other.
That's what I.
And this doesn't look appropriate. I know, and for being here speaking to you, I'm distracted with you. That's why it's happening.
Do you understand where we're coming from as a business?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I appreciate it.
I apologize. I'd like to keep practicing and for understanding each time I've been here, when it happens, I go and sit down and I correct them, make a timeout. Because it's only going to get better as they get older. And like I said, the only time it's happening is when I'm distracted with something else. Now, as the more I be able to practice, I came here, my other service animal lived 12 years. And when I came here from her being a puppy all the way till, you know, she got older. And I started like I am right now. I'm really distracted, and I'd rather be correcting them than talking to you. And as soon as it got to the point I was doing an hour and a half of workout every day, and she would sit by the machine, but I was only able to achieve that by practicing, and fully understood because of the situation at first. Knowing the situation, I would come in when it wasn't crowded. And I tried to get to know the people at that time all the time and make sure the ones that weren't comfortable I stayed away from, because I don't want to cause any problems. But without being able to try, nobody's going to be able to teach your dog how to act in public if they're not allowed to be in 100%. Public.
And I'm going to tell you exactly where I'm coming from. So I actually help out in the Cumberland location. So me and you, this is the first time we've interacted. This is the first time I've seen the dogs firsthand. All I can say and tell you is my bosses, they have all the power over me. They do not want the dogs in the building because of what they have seen so far. If there is something else you would like to pursue, if it comes to legal action, I don't know if that would be your next step.
Can I get that?
I might reach
that person's information, maybe a phone number?
It would only be a personal cell, so I wouldn't be able to give it out. She is going to be, I believe she should be back in the club today, or she is going to be here closing tonight.
What time would it be appropriate?
I know for a fact she's going to be here before 5 o'clock, so I'm going to be heading out around 5. She should be here by 5 o'clock. She is the regional manager. She's my boss. She takes care of other facilities. I'm a messenger. I don't want you to believe we're trying to.
What is her name?
Shelby.
It's all right to hang around till she's here?
Yeah, I'll make contact with her again and see what's her ETA and see if I can get in contact with her really quick.
I'd appreciate being able to clear this up, because like I said, I know other people have made complaints, but you know, unless they've done something to question their ability that's not been able to be corrected, you know, it's really not appropriate for her to have made that statement.
And that's why we didn't make you bring in any type of valid forms. We didn't have you make sure they have their vest on.
That's illegal, right?
Exactly, 100%. And we haven't. What we are questioning now beyond that point is their ability to act as a service dog under what we know as to be a service dog.
I mean, I've demonstrated more than once in that over there.
I don't know the valid ramifications.
Right.
So if that would be a profound.
Well, in understanding, to say the only reason you'd be able to disqualify somebody is if the animals were uncorrectable, doing something uncorrectable. Now, it also explains, when you read that part of it, that if you and I are talking and other people are distracting, like behind me, like saying hi, eye contact, distracting the animal, at that point that wouldn't be because the animals are being distracted by somebody. You know, there's that very fine line of understanding to say, you know, you could see at all times.
And I think that's where we're at. We're at a very fine line where we have to go over like kind of the legal.
When I'm not being distracted, my service animals are always at attention. And the only time I've been distracted is to say, every time I've came, when I check in, and then when I'm on my way out, each time they stop me. One time they wanted to take my picture. The other time they said the thing didn't work. They wanted me to scan again, stuff like that. But you know, and it pretty much looked like they were just kind of slowing me down to, you know, observe the animals. And each time that I was in that position, they did fine because I wasn't being distracted by them. They just asked me to scan, and I was able to pay attention to what was going on with my animals, you know. And then to even understand, like, right now, knowing that they're distracted, the way that they are with their leash, I know, like, because I can feel the leash and the way they work for me, because I have optimal damage, I know by their body language, feeling their body language, everything that's going on around me more than, you know what I mean? It's part of
They seem like
how we
great
work
dogs.
together.
I just hope you're understanding of like with
Oh,
their,
no,
I know
no.
that the size doesn't necessarily like mean anything
Oh,
to the
fully,
animal.
no, I fully understand.
We do have, it's been a busy time
The-
of the year, so
the-
people are just, we're trying to find out what we can do to either make this easier for you or
Yeah,
maybe
and like I said, I've been trying to be, you know, more than accommodating to say, knowing that people might be afraid of them. That's why I'm at the same time always, whenever anybody asks to invite, I let them, but I don't try to invite play unless somebody asks first. Now it's really hard at a young age just for them to know the difference, knowing that everybody's trying to say hi when I come here. You know what I mean? That's why, like I said, a little bit of practice and being able to come when it's not so, and they notice that, okay, maybe when we're standing here, people invite, or when people invite, they know better, you know, unless people invite. But they also know, like, when we come to the counter at most places that I go to on a regular basis, when we get to the counter, usually people behind the counter trying to get my dogs dog treats. Whereas, you know, it's another thing to excite them, but they understand, they usually know that, and they're ready to act appropriate, because, you know what I mean, because of that. Does that make sense?
yeah. I understand. Like I said,
There's the fine line of, you know, like, what time is it now?
3:30.
And you were saying 5?
She should be on her way soon. I'm leaving at 5. I know she'll be here before 5 at the very least.
I gotta run, and Aaron, I gotta run, and then I'm gonna come back and,
If anything,
Alright.
if you're able to search up, this is 1222 Warwick Ave. You can give us a call or house phone anytime, and we can let you know if she's in at that time or not.
like I said, yeah, I'm gonna run there and I'll come back and wait for her. all right?
Perfect. All right.